book friends, I'm Allie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I am hoping to read in the month of March. So, March is my birthday month, and I don't know what I want to read. I decided to make this video, and I was sitting around thinking, what do I want to read in March? Coming out of February, I have been in a huge romance mood, so I've just been picking up a lot of romance books, and just like every type of romance. I'm just here for the light, fluffy romance lately, apparently. That's just what I'm feeling. So I thought I'd show you guys some books that I'm interested in reading. It's not a set TBR. Honestly, I feel like this is just kind of mood reading central right now, and I just have books that I know there are a few that I want to read for sure. And then there are several that I'm kind of just like, I would like to read this book. I don't know if I'm in the mood for this book. But hey, I'll show you guys what I'm feeling, and I guess we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with the books that I have actually started in February but not finished, because I'm planning on wrapping up these books first. Let's start with not the romance book though. First I have The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. I started this in January, and it carried me through to now, but I was hoping to finish it this weekend. I'm on page 243 out of 450 pages. So this is going to be finished in the next couple days. The next book that I started last month was The Dating Plan by Dessai. I am struggling to get through this one, to be honest, because I'm not enjoying the writing style. And I think I am on page 50, no, I'm not. I'm on page 23. And I'm annotating it because it's frustrating me. So I want to get through this because I want to review it, and I'm hoping that it's going to get better and I'm going to enjoy it. But we'll see. The next book that I started, I've read like 5 pages of, is The Heiress Gets a Duke by Harper St. George. I really enjoyed this one when I picked it up. I realized very quickly that I loved the writing, and I had only intended to read the first page and see how I liked it. But I liked it so well that I ended up reading 5 pages right then, and I had to force myself to put it down because I didn't want to get too far with having other books kind of pending. So I want to read this. It's not too long. It's a fairly short book, so I think that I can get through this one pretty quickly. And next, I actually got the audiobook for this, but I also have the physical, so I'm bouncing back and forth. But it's The Duchess deal by Tessa. I am like 15 pages into this. I am really enjoying this. The banter in this is great. I have found myself laughing out loud so many times since I picked this up. I love Tessa. I've already read a few of her books, and she's just such a great romance writer. I can't wait to finish this one. Okay, now we come into uncertain territory. I have a few books that I was trying to start last month, but I didn't get to. And I have a few books that I am really intrigued to read, but I may not get to them. So here is a very flexible, I'm not really sure if I'm going to read them or not, but I would like to read all of these, TBR. Maybe we should change it. Like, I mean, it's a Mood TBR. Wait, I'm going to think of something. I'm going to think of a better title, because TBR is not working, because to be read never gets read for me. So last month I mentioned that I really wanted to read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I still do. I really want to pick this up, especially because I've been in a romance mood, and I know that this book has some romance elements to it, and I just really want to read it. So I'm going to try really hard to actually pick this up and at least start it this month. I've only read the first page of it, so I would like to actually get a reasonable amount into the book. I also last month said that I wanted to start Well of Ascension, and I never got a chance to because I was too busy reading other things. So I would like to start this, and I would like to try to get at least 100 pages this month. That would be cool, because I think it's like 700 pages? Yeah, 760 something pages. So if I could just at least read 100 pages this month, which I know that I can do, that would be cool. Also, I have the audiobook for this, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, and I wanted to read it back in January, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So I think that at some point I'm going to listen to the audiobook for this and follow along with the physical copy so that I can review this. I also have the audiobook for Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I'm supposed to be buddy reading this with my best friend whenever we decide to both jump in it at the same time, which I think that we have decided to do this weekend. So I'm going to try to get this started, and since I have the audiobook, I should be able to burn through it, hopefully. So a few random things that I've been in the mood for. I picked up a copy of Bone Gap by Larue. I'm not really certain what exactly this is about. I know it's some type of like suspense story where people can fall through like holes in time in this town, and I did start this last month. I just read a couple pages, but the writing in this is phenomenal. I like didn't want to put it down once I picked it up. It is really good, and so I'm thinking that I'm going to try to pick this up and read more of it throughout the month of March because it's really good, and I'm really intrigued to see what the story is about. I heard some people doing a Middle Earth March for this month, and I was thinking that I might pick up The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien and read a little bit in it, if not all of it. I love this book so much. It's so good. It's just like that classic nostalgia fantasy feeling. I would like that as kind of a comfort read whenever I'm feeling like some fantasy that I've already read. So it's just really easy to pick up and just kind of jump into it random. And another random story that I've been kind of in and out of is the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is the first series of stories that he wrote, and I've been trying to jump into these. Since they're really short, I've been trying to just like read one here and there, and I'd like to actually try to finish this whole book of short stories this month. There are not that many short stories in here, as a matter of fact. I think there's like 10. So it's not that much, and they're all super short, and I think that I've read a good majority of these in the past, so it shouldn't be too difficult to go into them as a reread. Continuing on with my feeling of romance, I want to try fantasy romance, which I haven't read before, and I was thinking either From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout or A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have been wanting to read both of these. I don't know which one I'm going to be more in the mood for, but I'm definitely going to pick up one of these this month because I want to read fantasy romance, and I have heard great things about both of these, which, I mean, I've heard negative things about both of these too, but I think on the whole most people really enjoy reading these, so I'm going to check them out and pick one of them for this month. I just don't know which one yet. As always, I have been slowly chipping away at Skyward by Brendan Sanderson. I think I'm going to get the audiobook for this and try to listen to it more and also physically read it. That way I'm getting further in it because I really want to read this. I think the third one comes out this year, so I would love to read this one and the second one. I believe I have it too somewhere on my shelf. I would love to read both of these before the third one comes out so I could jump into it. So we'll see how that goes. It's kind of my ambition, and also if I get the audiobook, then I can always let my husband listen to it as well, and then we can chat about it. So as always, I try to make sure that I'm reading my book of the month books so that I can review them, and this month I decided that I want to try to read two that are both relatively short. I have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I believe this was last month's book. Yeah, it was February. And then I want to try to read Piranesi by Susan Clark. I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and it's written, I believe, like journal entries, and they are really short, so I believe it's a really quick read. That's at least what I've heard about it, and it looks really short. So I'd like to try to read both of these in March if I can. Also, I think I have an audiobook for this, maybe. I'm pretty sure that I saw it, but anyway, I would like to read both of these. That way I can review them for March. And then, as always, I have my TBR cart, so if I'm feeling something different, then I usually try to get off of this cart instead of my shelves because I want to try to knock these books out before diving into these books over here because I have so many books and I need to stop adding them. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, and so far I have not been entirely successful with that. So I'm really making an effort now to not buy as many books until I can get through the books that I have on my shelves. And one specifically that I would like to read in March is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I did start reading this, and I think I read a chapter of it, and I really liked the writing style. It was very engaging. So if I decide that I'm in the mood for this is like a mystery, I believe. Like a young adult mystery, maybe. So if I decide that I'm in the mood for something like that, then I'm going to pick this up because it's really cool. Alright guys, so these are the books that I am planning to read for sure, because I need to review these 3 technically. They're all book of the month. And because romance. So if you are reading any of these books or any of the other books that I've mentioned, if you've read them, if you have any recommendations, I am in the mood for some romance. So recommend me some romance books down below if you want to. Until next time guys, I'll see you later.